What you're about to watch is a courtroom mistake that could happen to almost anyone with a common name. Francisco Martinez was arrested on an out-of-state warrant, but as the hearing began, it quickly became clear that investigators had detained the wrong person. The prosecutor explained to the judge that another man with the exact same name and even the same date of birth was actually the one wanted by authorities. After comparing tattoos, FBI records, and booking photos, officials confirmed that Francisco had absolutely nothing to do with the case. The charges against him were immediately dismissed, and the court ordered his release. Although Francisco was about to walk free, the judge warned that the nightmare might not be over. Because the real suspect shares his name and date of birth, the same mistake could happen again in the future. The courtroom began discussing a solution, suggesting that Francisco obtain an official letter from the court or prosecutor in the demanding jurisdiction confirming that he was not the person named in the warrant. That document could help prevent future wrongful arrests, even though the judge admitted the process was far from straightforward. As the discussion continued, the attorneys tried to determine exactly where Francisco should go to obtain that letter. Since the warrant originated in Illinois, they agreed he would most likely need to contact the prosecutor's office or the court responsible for issuing it. If the warrant could eventually be corrected or withdrawn, it would eliminate the confusion altogether. Until then, however, Francisco faced the possibility that law enforcement in another state could mistakenly identify him again simply because of his common name. When Francisco entered the courtroom, the judge personally explained what had happened. She acknowledged that there are countless people named Martinez and apologized for the unfortunate mistake. The judge assured him that he would be released that very day and instructed his court-appointed attorney to help him understand the next legal steps to protect himself from being wrongfully arrested again. While the situation had been resolved for now, everyone in the courtroom understood that the real challenge was making sure it never happened a second time. Francisco's attorney questioned why the arresting officers hadn't taken a closer look before making the arrest. The judge explained that officers working late at night have limited resources in the field. Most warrant confirmations are completed through a teletype system, which typically verifies only a person's name and date of birth. Because those details matched the warrant exactly, the officers had little reason to believe they had detained the wrong individual until a more detailed review could be conducted later. The prosecutor further explained that the teletype system cannot transmit photographs, fingerprints, or other identifying images. Even though fingerprint records and mugshots exist, officers responding to a warrant cannot instantly compare them with another state's files during a roadside arrest. That verification only happens after the suspect is processed through the jail system, where investigators can review FBI numbers, fingerprints, tattoos, and booking photographs to determine whether the correct person has actually been arrested. The judge pointed out that modern fingerprint technology might seem like an obvious solution, but the prosecutor clarified that the problem isn't collecting fingerprints, it's sharing them quickly between different jurisdictions. Because the warrant system relies primarily on text-based information, officers cannot instantly compare fingerprint images from another state while making an arrest. As a result, mistaken identity cases like Francisco's occasionally occur despite improvements in law enforcement technology. With the mistake finally corrected, the judge informed Francisco that he would likely be released within the next several hours. Before ending the hearing, she instructed his attorney to explain exactly how he could obtain official documentation proving he was not the wanted individual. The judge wished him good luck, hoping this unfortunate experience would never happen again. The case ended with Francisco's freedom restored, but it also exposed how a simple match of a common name and birth date can completely change an innocent person's life.